Alright, folks, it's that time. We are at the third game in the original Crash Bandicoot trilogy, and the only one I played when I was a kid. And I love this game. I have a feeling I'm gonna have a bit of an ugly time with it when I get into playing it on here, because I know it's gonna feel a little bit different. And I've probably forgotten, like, everything because I actually lost my disc of the original many, many years ago. And I had to buy a second one. Plus, I haven't really had my, my consoles plugged in for a while. Oh, I'm talking over the cutscene. I should probably not do that. Crash likes his yo-yo, though. I can dig it.
BOOOOOOONE is free? No, it cannot be. Evil, great evil has come.
Oh, Crash. I like that the polar bear cub is hanging out with him, by the way.
The great BOOOOOOONE even once. But you, Cortex, you have failed me twice.
Great BOOOOOOONE! It was that infernal Bandicoot.
Oh, I sure did ping you, Lears.
Inside my devil prison, I sent you simple instructions to follow. But you lost the gems, you lost the crystals, and I have lost my patience.
And you never had the relics to begin with. Yeah, I remember you saying during Crash 1 that you wanted to see this, Lears, so I figured, hell with it, you're getting a ping, buddy.
And failed. But since your bumbling has managed to set me free, I am feeling generous. There is still a way to amass the power needed to enslave this miserable planet. And
Cortex is making all these faces because he's noticing just how much detail BOOOOOOONE's lips have in this version, by the way, I think.
do it right.
Hey, what's up? It's this guy. Dr. Entropy. We're gonna properly meet him eventually. Oh. I'm talking over somebody who's actually understandable. Whoops.
Locked him there to protect the world from his malice. Now, free once again, he must be stopped. Children. BOOOOOOONE
Oh, I touched the stick. Whoops.
This time twisting machine to gather
Not in a Dark Side Phil way. That'll get me banned from Twitter. From Twitter, yeah. Sure.
Open the time portal. Simply stand on a button and then jump into the portal. Good luck.
Oh no, the frog. Wasn't Cortex just over here? Anyway, yes, I always really liked Dr. Entropy. He had a really cool voice in the original, and he's just kind of neat looking. Hopefully we'll get to fight him pretty soon. He is the third boss of the game. Oh, spoiler alert, there's bosses in this game. Let's just jump straight into it and check out level 1, Toad Village.
Crash, crash, crash. Why must you always muck in my mud? Oh, look! I have a mask helping me, too. We will find out which one is more powerful soon enough.
Man, those cutscenes sound really weird in this version. Yeah, this is the only one that I really properly played when I was younger. I played a little bit of Crash 1 many years later. Oh, thanks for giving me the tutorial in Game 3 there, buddies. Although, I guess reminding us that we can do the slide. We can do the slide jump still. So I will fuck that up quite a bit. Yeah, the voice acting... I mean, aside from the fact that it doesn't really have that whole cruddy 90s voice acting charm, I just don't think the voices are quite as good. We'll definitely see, for example, that, like, N. Gin, for example, is really not giving it his all. We'll hear that eventually. I kind of think that N. Gin's voice really sucks in this. Which is a shame because I really did love Engine and like all the older games. But again, that's spoilers because we'll see that eventually. And also, who knows how much of this game we will get done today. We get our standard Crash Bandicoot staples here. We get a bonus room right away. Pretty much as basic as a bonus level gets. This game, I think, although again, this might be sort of biased as a result of not really having played the other ones that much when I was younger. I feel like this game is a lot easier than the first two, which is probably better. It's a more balanced difficulty curve. You can get into it a little more easily. And again, when you're making video games for younger people, which was very much a big thing at this period of time, you know, I don't think the adult gamer audience, not counting people who are like, you know, early 20s and would be interested in things like Conker's Bad Fur Day and stuff like that. Or that's the first mature game I could think of for some reason. Or like Grand Theft Auto or anything like that. You know, that's technically also a mature gamer audience, but it's a little different from what you've got going on nowadays. Anyway, to the point, when you're making games for a relatively young audience, it does help to not scare them off right away, basically, is what I want to get to. There we go. Very easy first level, as you can see. We even got the gem first try. Unlike in Crash 2, where they were like, oh, hey, here's all these extremely precise slide jumps you have to do. And it was kind of a pain. And also, you can see the increased amount of animations in the Sane Trilogy. Once again, Crash is storing his crystals in questionable places. Level 2, we're going straight into Under Pressure. You hear that bass line and you're not sure if it's Under Pressure or if it's Ice Ice Baby, am I right? And here we go, our first underwater level. This is a big thing that you will notice about Crash 3 compared to its predecessors. There is a lot more variety in playstyle. We're swimming! Which, I mean, okay, I've played worse swimming, but the controls of this can be a little bit hard to get used to. And it's very easy to accidentally kick yourself into mines. And those pufferfish can be kind of a pain. Also, you'll notice we picked up a third mask here, but we didn't go into Invincible Aku Aku mode. That does not exist underwater. It's a little bit on the mean side, if you ask me. But, of course, you wouldn't be able to, you know, start booking it at super fast speeds underwater anyway, just because these stages are designed to go slowly. Speaking of going slowly, we're going to go slowly, even though this path is trying to shove us down faster. See, thankfully they put a grate down there to not let us get absolutely lacerated. So that's nice of them. And we get this little, skiff thing, I guess, for lack of a better word. I was almost thinking, oh, submarine. No, it's not a submarine. That would be enclosed. This is kind of like something you would see in Subnautica, except it's got missiles. I didn't play much of Subnautica. I should probably go back to that someday, but I am very easily distracted by things that I've already played a ton of. And I started playing Phantasy Star Online 2 recently. I picked back the original Phantasy Star Online up. I could perhaps have worded that in an order that made sense in English, but I decided not to. And yeah, I'm generally quite bad at remembering to get around to newer games. I feel like I bought something recently that I was just like, I'll get to this, and then I still haven't gotten to it. And that's not even counting all of the other random shit that I've accrued over the years on Steam that I still haven't gotten around to. I hope Crash 4 ends up on Steam, just because, honestly, playing everything on PC is much easier nowadays. However, that said, I am still probably going to end up, whenever I get around to it, picking up Crash 4 on PS4. It's sadly not on Switch yet either, which is a shame, because the Switch is definitely the console I play with the most nowadays. Just by virtue of, you know, ease of use and everything. Oh, don't miss the crystal. I almost did. It's amazing how very, very bad I am sometimes at missing these things that are right out in the open. But yeah, there you go. Another very simple tutorial-ish level, especially if you take your time. Now, a level that I am very bad about remembering to take my time on is about to come up right now. After Crash digs those things out of his, you know, his nature's pocket, right? Level 3, Orient Express. This, we have to play as Coco for this because we're going to be riding the tiger. Ah yes, there we go, the tiger. You can see his stripes, but you know he's clean. And yeah, these stages are usually very fast-paced. Actually, this feels quite a bit slower than the original. Then again, I also, in the original, am, like, holding down the run button constantly. Getting a gem here can be a little bit harder because, of course, we don't 100% know where all of the crates are going to be in some of these areas that split. And since this is basically an auto-scroller, if we miss one of those, we are unable to get them back, other than by dying, of course. But let's, you know, let's try not to do that. I did say I played this one as a kid. I'd like to pretend to flex for a moment. I mean, as you can see, I did lose a mask already, but that's bound to happen. Alright, let's get these. Let's try and get that gem. Because forget that. Oh my god, I already... Amazing. I was like, hey, let's get the gem. Misses the last crate just barely. Oh. I bet I could just walk off this cliff. But nah, we're gonna finish the level. Oh, I am an idiot. Whatever, we'll come back for all this stuff later. You really only need the crystals to beat the game. The other stuff just unlocks other things. Let's check out level 4, Boneyard. That's right, we're going to the Bone Zone.
Ooga and Cortex want tiny get crystals and bring them to big Colosseum in Rome. Crash! Leave them for Tiny, or Crash get crashed!
Boneyard! Thank you. Yeah, the relics unlock bonus levels. I believe the gems are mostly just for completion. Aside from the 5 color gems, which it's going to be a while before we can get those. So this level, this is basically like Barrett and the other Polar Bear Chase levels, the boulder. Much like Crash 2, however, the Triceratops, I almost called the Triceratops a T-Rex. That's reflecting really well on me. Imagine having been a child who thought they were male at the time and not knowing what dinosaurs are. That seems a little bit messed up. So, yeah, again, very simple. Stay away from the big dinosaur, and you'll be fine. Also, here we get TNT crates, and I think we can actually get... Is he smaller? He's definitely not chasing us quite as like right breathing down our neck. So I 100% believe that. And yeah, here we go. This is what I mentioned about a color gem. We need the red gem. It looks surprisingly purple, but we do need the red gem to get through there, and that will take us to a free clear gem. However, it has no crates, and it doesn't have the crystal on it, so we can still get the regular gem and the regular crystal, and the only crystal in the level by not having that gem. So we're going to try to go for completion in here. Also, yes, you did see a nitro crate. There will be a thing at the end of the level to break all of those, as is the standard. So this one requires a little bit of strategy. Don't just go breaking that wooden bounce block right away. And we do have a basic belly flop as well, just like in Crash 2. Like I said, we're going to be fucking that up a lot, I'm sure, the slide jump. Get ourselves back to the regular path here. Crystal. Alright, so I think we have to do this in a specific pattern or something to get all these crates easily. There we go. It was much simpler than I thought. Maybe I'm thinking of the other dinosaur level, which there's another one, because it's a Crash game. They usually use most settings twice. At bare minimum. Yeah, I can definitely tell what you mean now that you mention it, that the Triceratops is a little bit smaller looking than in 3. I don't need to spin the crates. What am I doing? Triceraton will do that for me. Nice. I think the Triceratops just kicks the steel nitro exploder anyway. But hey, we jumped on it, so good job us, I guess. Hey, I do love that dance. Plus, we get to see that when we beat a boss, I think, so that's always good. Alright, level 5, Making Waves. Yet another Coco level. You can see we're getting a nice variety to start with, but this time we're not riding a tiger, we're riding a jet ski! R2 to accelerate. L3, is that what I'm seeing here? Is click the stick for... Yeah, the handling on the jet ski, by the way, this is one of the main things. I did pick this game up for Switch very early on in the pandemic because I was like, I think I'm going to need something to, you know... I felt like it would have been important to have a portable game, and I was just like, hey, yeah, Crash Bandicoot, that's always fun. So the main thing that I remember is that the jet ski controls in this are a little bit funky. Basically, I would describe them as comparatively overcomplicated. It's very straightforward and very simple on the PS1, whereas on this, it's like you have a much greater range of motion and stuff like that, and I seem to recall, for example, that you snapped to the middle of these boost ramps a little more easily. And the idea sounds good on paper, and then you play it. Kinda like Star Tropics 2. Yeah, I went there. I've met people before who think that Star Tropics 2 is a better game than Star Tropics 1, and I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Then again, considering who those people were, I have reasons to think what the fuck is wrong with them otherwise, but I digress. Liking or not liking Star Tropics 2 has very little to do with your values. At least on that level. It does, however, have a lot to do with your taste in video games. Alright, again, we gotta try and line this up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to get not the crystal. I already got the crystal. I'm definitely trying to get the gem here because, honestly, why not? Let's change our mood a little bit for this game compared to the other two, where I was just like, okay, I will try to get stuff, but if it gets to a certain point, I'm just gonna go for completion. Whereas here, I do want to unlock at least some stuff. We just might be waiting to do any time trial stuff, which this, I believe, was the first Crash game to properly introduce time trials, but they've been added to the other games in Sane Trilogy. This is definitely a game where I will be doing a little bit of that because that unlocks... So for the time trial relics, you can unlock 3 extra levels and 2 side paths in 2 other levels that we haven't seen yet. But here we are, folks. We have not died once yet. This is quite a change of pace from the first 2 games. Also, Coco is, for some reason, storing her gems and crystals in even stranger places than Crash. Also, she basically does a Crash dance. That's pretty fantastic. I did not know that was a thing. Thank you. Thank you, Vicarious Visions. You are... Unfortunately, Vicarious Visions has been basically enslaved to do Blizzard shit forever, which is quite sad, but... You know, I think we talked about that last week. Gladiator Arena, huh? Sometimes he attacks too aggressively. That's one way to put it. Oh, that's fantastic. That actually does look better than in the OG. And I can now see in the crowd are all of the little nerds. And it looks pretty great. Alright, so Tiny... Well, first of all, wow, I think they've slowed Tiny down a good bit since the original. But he's very easy when he's on the field. Just dodges jumping. This is the part where things get kind of annoying. I suck at dodging the waves of lions that he spits out at you out of the arena. So if I'm going to die, it's literally not going to be because of Tiny, who is just completely hilariously ineffectual. Like, honestly, even in the other game, even in Crash 2, where he was the hardest boss, shockingly enough, I didn't die because of him. I died because the arena is just, you know, not very nicely designed, and I often really suck at the slide jumping, too. So, it's looking like we're going to beat Tiny here without dying even once, and that is pretty impressive. Okay, not really impressive, but it's still pretty nice. Oh, they're throwing tomatoes at him. Nice. And yes, for beating a boss, we get a power-up in this game. So we get ourselves this Super Belly Flop. which is the belly flop, but better, and that's about it. It can punch through those locked up crates.
Well done, children. By defeating Tiny, you have unlocked the gate to the next time travel area. Go back to the center of this time twister and save your progress if you wish. From there, you will see that the gate to the second time travel area is now open.
Well, if the whole game can keep up this level, we'll be on fucking easy street. It will not. Some parts of this game will absolutely whoop my ass, and I'm pretty sure that at least one of them is gonna be in this zone, in this particular web zone. Let's take a look at our levels. I didn't really give the preview last time, but here we are for World 2. We've got Gee Whiz, which makes me laugh. That's another... Then again, the phrase Gee Whiz just makes me laugh no matter what. So this is yet another of the medieval stages, but this time it's focused around a wizard enemy that we haven't seen before. On 7, we've got Hang 'em High. This one, I love this. This is an Arabian-themed level based around the monkey bars that we first saw in 2. Very fun, very fun. Level 8. Oh, level 8. Hog Ride. Oh. This is a motorcycle level, and I suck at this. We have to win the race in order to get the crystal. This will probably beat me down a little bit. However, we won't really die from it very much, so meh. Number 9 is Tomb Time. This is a very straightforward Egyptian-themed platforming level. And level 10 is the other tiger level, Midnight Run. So we're going to start all the way on the left. Just wanted to show off all those levels to start with, because we were doing that last time. We were doing that in Crash 2. Let's get right into level 6, Gee Whiz. What do you got for us? We're going to get yammered at.
Why must you continue to be a thorn in our side?
Who? What? Where was I? Oh, Tiny was a good fellow. He hated everyone and everything, but a good heart nonetheless. Please be more reasonable with my minions next time.
A good heart that I could have recycled. Unfortunately. Yeah, you can see that the blast radius from that body slam is much improved. And it didn't want to do it when I was too close to the ground. Well, okay, I guess we're ignoring the frogs. And yes, it breaks through the steel frame crates now. And here we go. We've got the wizards, for which this level is named after. Their shots track you, and it is a very odd speed that requires you to basically do a lot of curving motions to dodge them. And for some reason, I can't jump on this crate without jumping onto the side rail. Broke something, but I didn't see what it was. Was it the other part of this? It probably was, wasn't it? Well, gotta do what you gotta do, right? Oh, I missed the one up. But we got enough Wumpa Fruits that it didn't matter. I think we actually got the chicken. It did sort of burst in the feathers. Well, alright then. So as you can see, this game is definitely... While I don't think the tutorials are as set up as before, it's definitely not like, oh hey, you really should have played the other one first, in terms of its difficulty curve. Although we've definitely taken a few stupid hits here, otherwise we would have had some invincibility much, much sooner in the game. But, you know, anytime you get to run around with the mask is always fun. Let's check out this bonus area. Is this going to show us using this thing? Oh, I can see that there's already going to be some planning involved because you saw that question mark crate down there. Underneath the wireframes. So we're going to have to get that before we hit the exclamation boxes. Otherwise, we screw ourselves out of a gem. Like that. And see, it creates steel. And you're not getting through that with no matter how many belly flops you hit those things with. Well, that didn't get us all the nitro crates, but that thing did, so we got us a gem for this level. Very nice. Things are not dialing up too hard just yet. That motorcycle level is going to be a huge outlier. Ah, those squeaky shoes. All right. Let's get into level 7 here. Hang 'em high. Discover and finish the secret route for a special gem. We will not be able to do that for now, because that requires 10 relics. And we haven't done any time trial yet. Those floating guys can be very odd in terms of their hit detection, by the way, so I actually usually use the slide to approach them. And the guys carrying the 3 pots are similar. This is where we start getting a lot of enemies that you really have to approach in a certain way in order to make sure that you land a hit on them. However, if we have the power of the Aku Aku mask, we don't care. We do not care. Wow, nice timing. I got the question mark side of the thing there. All right, so Magic Carpet Man, you want to come over here? There we go. And of course, yeah, it is not necessary in any of these levels to kill any of these enemies. That is changed from Crash 2, which you remember had those kill pits in the forest levels. And yeah, the spinning crates were spinning faster and faster. If you let them go for too long, they turn into steel. Which is pretty cruel sounding. And you are correct that it is pretty cruel. And this is pretty neat. I like this as a thing where you have to actually time that as TNT in order to get all the boxes here. Neat. And I didn't even remember it either. That's kind of amazing. Get them out by Friday. Alright, so Can we hit that? Just yes. Very tough, but we managed to pull it off. Oh! Swordsman is over here. Everybody's favorite boss from Mega Man 8. Well, probably the one with the least worst voice acting anyway. Oh, well, that works. Okay. Alright, steel first. I don't think we have to do that one first specifically, but just in case. Alright, so if you didn't get the time trial relics at any point, that should be your first tip-off that something is up. Is that there's only that one nitro crate in the entire level, but hitting the nitro plunger definitely broke more than one crate because otherwise you wouldn't be getting that gem. And yeah. Of course, if you got the 5 relics to access the first bonus level, you'd be able to see that the next one is the background of Hang 'em High. And let us move on from there and get into some Hog Ride. And yep, just like any good racing game, you time your acceleration button hit on the end of the count there, and you get yourself a bit of a boost. And of course, when you're going that fast, you cannot control yourself worth a damn. So you better let go when you get a chance. Once you're done with the straightaway. We got all these cop cars just waiting for us. I know, all told, I'd be expecting them to be actively trying to ram us more, but surely that won't be a thing in a later level. Oh, I suck at these fucking things so much. And it's only going to get worse as things go on. And, oh, you rat bastard. We only just did not win there, and it was because we were stuck behind that last Goofus and ended up just slamming into his bumper instead of getting ahead. Oh, we got us a gem, though. That's something. I think that means we're gonna get 2 Crash Dance for this level. That's good. Incidentally, you only need to win the race in order to get the crystal. As you can see there, we didn't need to win the race in order to get the gem. And we will not need to win the race in order to get the relics when that comes up. And my timing there sucked. Alright, so crates are not a priority anymore. We're just gonna try and swerve between these cars as best as possible. And yes, even though you definitely do visually appear to get a bit of a boost from these ramps, they're not always faster than just going along the straight road. Because, yeah, it's not that big of a boost, first of all. You can see that, and the airtime, doesn't actually help you. However, these boost panels always hit those. Always hit those. Yeah! Only 2 tries for that one. And I love how the dorks are just passing right by us, just clipping right into the back of the car. Like, we don't care about anything. That's because they don't care about anything. Oh, no second Crash Dance. We'll have to get that when we get the relic. But for now, we're heading into Tomb Time, and we're gonna get talked to here, I think.
Good day, mate. Dingle Dial's the name, and Ooka Ooka and Cortex gave me orders to bring the crystal to them during the Ice Ages. So give me the goods and shove off, or I'll roast yous.
Oh, I do love me some Dingodile. He's actually playable in Crash 4, so that's... I'm pretty hyped to play that for that reason. Also, nice completeness on the snake. That's some good work on my part. Okay, so we cannot get the gem here, by the way. Not at this point. And it's actually one of the harder gems to get in the game, even if we could. So for the time being, while we are going to hit the obvious free crates, we're not going to make it a priority to go for any that are in stupid positions. In order to get, well, you'll see. We'll talk about it when we get to the relevant part of the level. Also, the Neo spelled out in snakes. Those tiles do not drop. However, the ones with the scarab icon on them do. Also, I believe we need the double jump in order to get every crate in this bonus room. So that's 2 things that are going to stop us from getting this gem. Ow! Oh no. I may have deserved that, but we'll do it another time. Again, we can't get the gem anyway, so it's no big deal. Sadly, the monkey doesn't make it a good analog to the squeaking noise that it made when you jump on its head in the PS1 version. And now we can hit the lever and drop these big-ass blocks of quarried stone now, too, if we want to. Not really much of a call to do that, but, you know, thanks, I guess. Naughty Dog, they thought of a lot of things. They thought of a lot of things except for making Last of Us 2 good, apparently, so. However, I don't know that we can hold that against late 90s Naughty Dog. And again, that's subject to interpretation, so, you know, if you like it, good on you. I don't, however. And, well, first of all, you saw the first issue, and that is that I tried to do something that you used to be able to do here in the PS1 version, which was to get on that. And here you can see it doesn't work as well. But more importantly, this is what's preventing us from getting that first clear gem in the level. We need the purple gem to get in here. Also, that jump is very hard to make back, if even possible, so maybe we should stop farting around over there. As I said before, there's definitely some physics changes that have happened as a result of sort of using a unified physics system for the 3 games. And they improve the earlier games, but they make the later games a little bit funkier. And so we're seeing a little bit of that coming home to roost here. With the inability to get on that. Fuck you too, door. Door's just like, no more talking! And I guess, fine, okay. We'll stand here and we'll wait. Like a regular person. Oh, shit. And here's our next checkpoint. And here's some crates that are a little tricky looking to get, but aren't that bad if we can actually jump on the quarry blocks here. And not have them jump on us. That would be good. Boy, I really shouldn't have shown off that that purple gem gate up close and personal now. Should I have? Because I would have loved to have had that mask that I still had at the time. Here we are. Alright, so if you back up a little bit, I guess. Ah! That was dumb. That was my fault. That was a very poorly positioned jump. Why am I doing this? We can't get the gem. Duh. Also, shoutouts to ancient Egyptian flamethrowers. Suddenly, Yu-Gi-Oh! Makes a lot more sense. Alright, let's bail. It's time to get to, level 10, right? Yeah, after I died like 5 times in that level, I have now forgotten, because that was kind of embarrassing. But yeah, there we go. Level 10, Midnight Run. It's another Tiger level, but a little bit tougher than before. However, that's a very useful tip, is that we can hit circle and we can dash through certain things and, you know. So suddenly our baby tiger here gets a much harder head while running very fast. I don't know how it works, but okay. Well, that animation was very odd because, you know, usually on the PS1 you would see several seconds of the circling birdies before you irised out and went back to the regular level, and I screwed up real bad there. Amazing. Again, I should probably come back for these gems and stuff later, because it gets much easier to do the relics, at least, once you've beaten the main game. And yeah, you can see there, we just charged through that barrel with reckless abandon. And we ignored that checkpoint with reckless abandon. Also, something else that I forget if I... Oh, well, that's a problem. Something else that I forget if I mentioned is that you don't get checkpoints in the time trials. So for a level like this, it's actually easier to do the gem in the time trial than it is to do it in the regular stage, because you can just die if you miss a box. And you won't lose a life, but you will go all the way back to the start of the level without having to restart in any way. We're just missing all kind of shit now with these charged up jumps. Such as we're missing out on the fact that that dragon does a funky pattern that we have to prepare for better. However, you'll also notice, once again, that this game is... Well, hit detection aside... Oh, that's cute. Hit detection aside on that guy's big old stick. This game is a lot more generous than the first two. That's my bad. I tried to go around that guy. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me, but... Here we are. So at least for a couple of worlds, we shouldn't game over unless we really play awful. Like, maybe by world 4 or so, we might stand a chance of getting a game over. Although even then, we probably would have to play like absolute shit in order for that to happen. Which, I mean, granted, that's always a concern on my end, but yeah. Let me realign my windows here, because I realized, oh yeah, that thing is not visible. And I'm doing the thing wrongly because I saw somebody messaging me on Discord. Yes, Brock, that is what we're calling the big stick nowadays, is a big stick. In this case, it is actually just a big old stick. It's one of the very few times that I say anything that it is not a penis metaphor. And I'm just saying that because the English language has a lot of metaphors for the penis. It's something that we are good at, as a species. You would think eventually somebody would just get tired of all of it and just be like, okay, we're just gonna say the word today. Well, we got the crystal in our death animation, but unfortunately, that's not going to carry over. And we were right at the end there, too. Amazing. Good job, us. And yeah, we definitely missed the gem here, but this is not necessarily an easy level to get that in. So, whatever. We are making our way down to the second boss already. Only been here for 2 hours. Or 2 hours, 1 hour. Yeah, they didn't give a shit. They're just doing their job. Let's go ahead and fight us some Dingodile.
Now you've gone and done it. Them crystals are mine.
Buddy, I don't think you can swallow these. Come on.
Break out the butter. I'm gonna make toast.
I gotta give this guy credit. He does not have the worst Australian accent we've seen on this stream in the past couple of weeks. In the original game, by the way, it was very possible, and might still be in this version, to just slide jump over Dingodile's little ice wall here and bounce on him and just be like, yeah, okay, that's it. I'm gonna skip the entire fight gimmick, right? Can't wait to bomb some Dingodiles. Like he needs help with that. We're getting the double shots, so... Wow, this fight has been defanged heavily from its original incarnation. On the PS1, that was actually hard.
No worries. You'll soon be up against much worse.
Look at the penguin just jumping on his back. That's great. So in the PS1 version, Dingodile's double shots had a much larger hitbox, and he did them for longer, I think. So it was very easy to get killed by those. But we just did that fight in one go. So either I'm just that good, which I think the last 20 minutes have proven is incorrect, or they made Dingodile weak as fuck in this version. Like, holy shit. That was very, very baby level. Let's take a look at World 3. We're up against Entropy here. We got Dynamite! This one's a good level. This has a hidden level in it, but I don't remember what the place is to unlock it. So we'll probably see that later. Deep Trouble, our second and last underwater level. 13. 13 is High Time. Not to be confused with a magazine about weed. Although, I mean, let me tell you. Level 14, this is the other motorcycle. Yeah, Road Crash. This is our second motorcycle level. And level 15 is Doubleheader, which is the last medieval level. And it has some two-headed giants that will present us with some minor issues. But again, we're going left to right here.
Well, haven't we gotten far for a pair of fuzzy marsupials? I am Dr. Nefarious Tropy, master of time and the creator of the very time twister machine you see before you. Ooka Ooka and Dr. Cortex have sent me to end this little charade, so you won't be leaving my area with the crystals. I swear it.
The amount of texture on his skin makes him look very leathery. I just want to point that out for some reason. And this level, you can see we've got some interesting stuff going on. We got those creepy-looking Bandicoot fish things that spin at us. Ah, yes, evolution's greatest mistake. And we got those again. This requires the yellow gem, which we very much do not have at this juncture. I mean, we could if we wanted to, and that was a very badly done slide jump. And that was me not even pressing the button, apparently. I just walked right into the lava. Whoops. Might be input delay, might be me moving slow. I'm willing to say that it was my hand moving slow. Also, for some reason, if you spin the Bandicoot fit... Wow. That's a not-so-generous little edge there. If you spin the Bandicoot fish while they're spinning at you, you bounce off of them for some reason. I don't know what kind of evolutionary evolution resulted in that, but okay. And hey, look, a dinosaur egg. I'm sure that opening this will not cause any issues. Aw, look how adorable he is. I think this little buddy's name is Rex or something. I mean, that would just fit. It's baby T-Rex. And when naming baby T-Rexes, people are not always very creative. For some reason, it is a very centralized issue. But our little baby T-Rex buddy here will let us just walk through crates. And I think can take a hit for us, but don't trust me on that. Basically, think Yoshi, but without the tongue. I mean, presumably it has a tongue somewhere in its mouth. Otherwise, eating is going to be a little difficult, but we sure can't use it. No, that's as high as we can go, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, no, we can go over that. But there's nothing hidden up there as far as I know. Yeah. Nice and easy. This time we have all the powers we need in order to finish this one. You see the game is even like, hey, use your super belly flop, which I already have been doing, so no need to tell me twice. Or once in this case. Also, yeah, another thing that makes our lives a lot easier is that the double jump severely reduces the amount of slide jumping we do. So I don't have to sit here being concerned like, oh shit, am I gonna fuck this up? No, I'm not. Alright, so we got us another Triceraton chase here. Triceraton, where is that term specifically from? Oh, crap. Again, I'm doing that a lot. Very specifically around the lava pits. I think it's just a me problem. So, yes, the bonus level to access it, which is just sort of a side-scrolling baby T-Rex ride and platforming section, really. You have to get grabbed by a certain one of the pterodactyl enemies, but unfortunately, I don't remember which one. And I'm not about to ram my face into every single one of them for the moment, so the odds are pretty good that I'm not going to finish this game in a single stream. So I'll look it up on like game FAQs or YouTube or something. I know, imagine going to game FAQs in this day and age, but I still do it occasionally for games if I need guides for shit. In order to figure out what exactly I need to do in order to get that. And you'll see that we missed a bunch of crates. So I think in this level we actually do need the yellow gem in order to get all the crates. And when we do that, we go back into the level then. So that's interesting. Bit of a rarity there. Alright. Alright, let's go into deep trouble. I said let's go into deep trouble. I ain't give a shit about high time right now. It's a good level, but it can wait. Backtrack to find the special... Yes, thank you for telling us how to do that. I wanted to explain that to the audience, but instead the game's hint system decided to just be like, hey, yeah, this game is 25 years old. Who cares? And to be fair, you probably all do that already anyway, so who am I kidding? And yeah, there's nitro crates in here, but we don't need to break them with the fishmobile, thankfully. That's what I'm going to call it from now on, is the fishmobile. Because I can't think of what the actual name of it is. Because there's going to be a nitro detonator later on. Spin the eel. That's what you get for that one level. Hanging Around, I think, was the one in... Or was it called Hanging Out? I don't remember. It was in Crash 2, and it kicked my ass. Like everything in Crash 2 did. Like, they've definitely made this game a lot easier, which is kind of fucked because I feel like it was the easiest of the original trilogy anyway. However, they didn't make Crash 2 or... Well, they made Crash 1 a little easier. And of course, you can still exploit levels like Road to Nowhere and stuff, so... You know, good on them. But definitely, wow, this game is just so much easier than the original. I didn't even realize. Like I said, I played through some of this on the Switch. It was really just the first two worlds. I don't even think I got this far. Maybe I did. But definitely, yeah, this is like many times... Many times easier than it was on the PS1. Which is completely bizarre. For like a myriad of reasons. Oh, I think we just hit an explosive crate that made a bunch of... Yeah, there we go. Because we're shooting the nitro crates. Usually the explosion from the little fishmobile here, I think, actually What am I trying to say? I think that actually usually collects fruit when it explodes near something. As you saw, of course, the rocket flying through the fruit doesn't collect it, but meh. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's go back and get ourselves that red gem, because honestly, why not? It's very easy. Especially because, again, this is a side-scrolling level. They're not making us backtrack through a 3D level yet, where you would have to be doing sort of an out-of-the-screen runner thing. You know, just gotta pretend you're Pepsi Man being chased by a bundle of wood. Incidentally, I probably should go and towards the end of the stream, when I do my usual end-of-stream links, throw in a link to Plastic Alan's run of Pepsi Man that he did a couple of days ago, because that game is very hilarious on sort of an existential level, really, for lack of a better term. Ow! The timer was still going. Oh, what a fantastic glitch. Oh my goodness! Get through there. Fuck, 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 fuck. Oh, wow. That was scary. There we go. Yep. Yeah, Pepsi Man certainly is, it's weird. When I was setting things up on the Plastic Alan wiki, I found out that the guy who later went on to write scenarios for the Zero Escape games, possibly writing the entire game, did 3D models for Pepsi Man. Like, he did some of the graphics in that game. What the hell? That's so weird. The whole history behind it is a thing of great beauty. Let's go into this level. And,
So, you pesky little rats aren't going to back off, eh? Just you continue to gather crystals and see what I do.
Hey, you give us a disappointing boss fight? I think that's what's gonna happen. And yeah, this is our first exposure in this game to death routes. And you remember how to get those if I've described those before, and I'm pretty sure I have. We want to get to a certain part of the level without dying if we want to get us a purple gem. And if you know anything about me, you know that I like the color purple. It's a very good color, so getting that gem would be a pretty A+ thing to do. Alright, so fittingly we've got somebody with pots in a level called High Time. Da 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 da. No, the level is actually named for the fact that it's very tall. Oh, they really don't want you to belly flop there. That's a shame, because that would be an easy way to get all those crates without risking any of the Wumpa fruit. Yeah, like that. Alright. Question mark pad. Crystal. Checkpoint. I think we're also very near the beginning of the death route. Yeah, not a lot to say here. This one is pretty standard fare for Crash Bandicoot bonus levels. Although you can definitely see that they're introducing concepts in this game a little bit later than they were in the earlier games. Alright, wait for the napalm. And here we go, Death Route. Let's show this off. Oh man, somebody's going crazy on that percussion right at the beginning of this theme. So the cool thing about the death routes, in addition to just being kind of cool in and of themselves as a challenge, is that they, much like the bonus levels, all have the same theme. This super energetic sounding theme, remixed as... Oh. That's a little less cool, but... all of the death routes have that same very energetic sounding theme that's like remixed in the overall musical style of the original level theme. Also, we get another shot at it. That's nice. I guess dying in the death route doesn't count. Oh yeah, and the death route theme thing applies to the color gem routes as well. Basically, it's sort of the general purpose side route theme, I guess. Get out of here. Ooh, this is going to be a really ugly jump. Yeah, the timing on those napalm men is very not great, but we managed to get through it. Because, of course, if we ram into that dude in the air, we're dead. What else would you expect to happen, really? And there it is. There's our purple gem. And this death route is just going to take us right back to the warp room, so it's a good thing we got the crystal. Yeah! See, we're getting all kind of nice stuff here. We're gonna have a decent completion percentage when we finish this, when we beat the final boss of this game. Let's move on to Road Crash. This level, ooh. Yeah, this is another motorcycle race. I'm not necessarily looking forward to this one. I was a little late, but I might have still gotten the boost. Judging by the fact that Crash yanked the end of his bike up a little bit, I'm assuming so. And you can see our new obstacle for this one is pit traps. And me not arcing tight enough to get to that thing. If we hit that sign with the alien on it, we go to a special level called Hot Cocoa, which is another jet ski level. However, the jet ski controls are not my bag in this version of the game, and we don't really need to do that except to get an extra relic and gem, so it's not a big deal for the moment. We are going to come back to that later in the game. Once we finish the, once we finish the main story and everything. Which again, it feels really silly to be like, oh, main story when talking about a Crash game, but on the other hand, it's not like it's wrong. By the way, falling in the pits here is not instant death, but you get knocked back a bit. It's like your standard sort of kart racing type of hazard. And I mean, these levels are designed as they're races, so I guess they're gonna take a little bit of blood from racing games to make things work. And yes, if we go off-road, you'll notice that we slow down a little bit. Fuck you, buddy. I'm gonna keep slamming you with my motorcycle as much as I need to. as we get some truly rough terrain here. Look at all these holes in the ground. And we lost pretty significantly here. This race is very hard, even compared to the other one. Yes, let's retry the level. Thankfully, they give you that as a freebie instead of just... Unfortunately, they do kick you back to the loading screen. I guess they have to place the crates again or something. I do want to see that crate counter. I wish I could... I wish I knew how to keep that up on screen constantly, but... Let's see if we can't go for a nice clean sweep here of getting the gem and the crate. Or, gem and the crate. Shut up. I'm the one who should shut up. I'm not getting that gem anymore. And as this is effectively a scroller, again, we're Pepsi Man now. We can't go back and get that, so... Oh yeah, there's a big ravine there. We have to hit that jumper, that's right. Alright, we're in first place. We just have to not play like garbage. Oh, never mind. Oh, Aku Aku is a little generous to us. Unfortunately, it's not generous enough to get us in the... Oh, damn it! That was a shockingly far away boost pad. Crud. Let's do the thing. Let's do it again. That was very badly done. I'm kind of upset at the game, really, but... Ooh, boy. Can we get a quick restart on this? No, apparently not. I'd have to quit back to the Time Twister. I don't want to subject you people to 2 loading screens. This level sucks, by the way, is all I can say. I am very, very bad at these motorcycle races. They are just kind of awful. I don't think I can easily explain just how much the controls are not good. And there's me failing to get the green light boost. Well, I guess we just have to race that much harder. Yeah, they changed the way the animation looks, and now it's not as good. It's like, oh, I am disappointed. I think ultimately a lot of problems with this collection come down to the creators probably do not want this to be perceived as a remaster set, even though that is objectively what it is. Especially when you consider that they basically retconned every game after Warped out of existence with the existence of Crash 4. They were just like, yeah, well, okay, these sort of exist and we're going to give nods to them in little background details, but also Wrath of Cortex story didn't happen, Twin Sanity story didn't happen, unfortunately. And I mean, to be fair, the other stuff is like an alternate timeline, so of course that's not going to count. The fact that I'm over here having a discussion, or rant if you will, into this much detail about the canon of Crash Bandicoot is very strange, isn't it? To say the least. So yeah, he just sort of face palms and sulks a little bit. He doesn't even... Like, he very definitely had, like, some obvious, like, heaving to his animation in Crash 3 on the PS1. And that is gone here. Yeah. Yeah, so they definitely changed it. I don't know why they changed it, but they did. It is one of the more bizarre changes, and that fucker just knocked us off the road. Actually, so is the part where we can't just reset in the middle of the level. That used to be a thing that we could do here, too. I don't know why that's gone. Fuck you! And third place again. This is... I think I said this is going to take a while, and it certainly is. We're probably not going to finish the complete game today, that's for sure. Yeah, it is rough. This is a pretty massive jump in difficulty. Like, we did Hog Ride pretty well. And, yeah, there we go. I tried to edge around this guy's wheel, and he's just like, actually... Although I do like the scarf that they've got going on. The little flapping scarf. That and the hat/hair, which, you know, basically the same thing. You can tell they're a little plasticky in that regard. I don't know, it makes them look very French. It's clearly supposed to be like 1950s, right? So they're in more of a motorist's outfit because that was a thing that existed, is that you did for a while have very, very particular clothes for driving a car, and nowadays that's only a thing if you are a professional race car driver. And even then it serves mostly a different role from what was going on there, where you'd have, like, well, you know, part of it was fashion, but also part of it was eye protection and stuff, but I digress. Anyway, they're clearly supposed to look like they're from the sort of era that this is supposed to be taking place in, which is, like, sort of this little bit Easy Rider-ish, I guess. Might be, God damn it, I fell in the hole. Well, that's okay. This run was going very badly. You can tell that the gap between me when I was in third and them when they were in second and first was getting pretty wide. To the point that I'm surprised I didn't fall back to fourth sooner. Also, yeah, I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm not good at racing games to begin with, so yeah. There we go. And that gets us our free positions. Don't knock into this guy's back wheels. Amazing, we didn't have enough speed to jump high enough to get that crate. Hello? My stick just locked up entirely? That's a bit of an issue. Did my controller disconnect in the middle of... Okay, seriously, is there a... No, there isn't a restart level option. What happened and why? Why is that not in the game anymore? In fact, it would probably be faster to actually quit and restart here, because... honestly... Alright, we're going back in there. We're going to do this before we move on to the next level. I know that the structure of things means that I could go to level 15 if I wanted to, and nothing would really change, but it feels wrong to... or something. Then again, when I play this casually, I just do them in whatever order all the time, so... Good, I'm glad. I don't even know if I've hit all the crates yet for the box. Well, yeah, for the box gem. I'm pretty sure that I missed at least one, but okay. On the other hand, the placement of the crates in this level actually makes the time trial significantly easier. So I won't even complain about that too much. It's just that, unfortunately, that's not what we're doing. That complete fucker just knocked me right off course. Goes to the dirt for some reason. I'm not winning this run anyway, but it also seems like it's too late to do a quit and re-enter, restart the level. Yeah, especially when I don't turn hard enough and do that. This is a problem. I fucking hate this level. And it gets worse because there's even more motorcycle levels. There's another one in World 5, because I guess fuck you at that point. And there's a bonus level one. There's 4 of these goddamn things. Why there are so many, I don't know. And I just don't know. And apparently that time, with all the things that went wrong, I did better than the time before. Good, okay, cool. That's right, eat my entire ass, buddy. Not here for this. But I'm not fucking here for this. Get off of the shoulder, asshole. That was never gonna work anyway, but I can still be mad about it. Good, great. I'm fucking happy. Really is not a good level. Just gonna say it. And it's unfortunate because I can't even be in here like, well, you should work on making the rest of the game perfect first before you start branching out. The rest of the game is so good. It's just these motorcycle levels are absolutely awful. Ugh. Actually, I'm quite curious if there's an input display that I can get that's software only for PC purposes. Just for reasons of things like this, I guess, to, you know, get a more overall perspective of, hey, am I doing it badly? Because it doesn't feel like I am. And of course, there's some places where the game is just like, yeah, well, we just don't like you today. Oh god, I thought I was not going to make that turn, and it's going to be stuck in the dirt for a sec. But no, we got away with it. Alright. Go to the X button just briefly. Actually, I think they added a dedicated brake button in this version, which was not in the original. Unfortunately, I don't know how much it helps when they start just, hey. That was a bit of slowdown on that dude's part, I'm sure, right? Like, I wasn't imagining... You son of a bitch! Oh my god! What an asshole. Like, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna hit you now. Because he's following the path. Just, oh! Ooh! Ooh. And my throat is a little dry right now, too, so yelling like that actually kind of hurt. I definitely felt it, and... Are we there? Are we there? Are we there? Yes! Holy fuck, we just barely got that. Oh. That was a really bad run on my part too, so I'm kind of amazed that we got that. Give me just a second. I'm gonna take a drink here. Okay, well, it's very good in the game to show keyboard control notification. That means that my controller probably came unplugged at some point during that level. Like, just barely. I admit that my micro USB cable for my PS4 controller is a little bit on the loose side, but that shouldn't be, like, too big of an issue.
Well, you've crashed a few parties before, but I never expected you to make it this far. If you don't turn back...
I will inflict 1,000 years of suffering on you and the entire universe!
Alright, question 1. I don't know if my PC has Bluetooth off the top of my head. But, setting that aside, question 2, how would I be able to tell that? Does it, like, say somewhere on the... Also, yeah, these guys are very hard to kill if you can at all. And you can, as you can tell, if they whack you with their big roast chickens, you go flying into the screen and die. Need the model number. Well, there's a very big problem with that, in that I just looked at the bottom of my controller, and although the label is still on there, everything that is written on there has been worn away. I don't know what the hell happened. It's, that's a little weird. Likely a V1. Yeah, I would imagine so, just by virtue of that's how a lot of this stuff goes. It's the one that came with the console, so if I could double check what my purchase date of the console was, would that help you any? I should note that it's a regular PS4 and not a Pro that my console is. The Pro wasn't even out at the time, I don't think, so... Yeah, it is probably old enough to be a V1 just by default. Alright. We can hash that out in a bit. And wow, getting this crate is very hard. Gotcha. Well, I mean, I figure you wouldn't broach it as an option if it didn't support Bluetooth. Otherwise, that would be really weird. Hey, Zeffy, how's it going? How's the day treating you? Had to get COVID tested. Oh. Well, I mean, the tests themselves are pretty painless, right? It's more the fact of, oh, I had to get tested, so that is a concern in and of itself. And, you know, honestly, big mood. Back during the summer, I went out and biked a lot, so I was admittedly very, very nervous about a lot of that. But it's kind of hard to put on a mask while you're out riding a bicycle. Because, you know, walking around, sure, but it also doesn't help that I'm not exactly very fit, so yeah. I'm not about to pop in here and be like, oh, I'm that person who needs to not wear a mask indoors because of breathing issues. No. If I'm just walking around inside of a store or something, I obviously can and do wear a mask. I'm not that unwell. And if I was, I would stay the fuck home. Because, like, are you stupid that you're going out? It's a lung-related disease. Anyway, I digress. That was a weird little side story. Okay, I hope that bounce box didn't get killed. It sure did. Okay, so this is a little bit more puzzly than I was giving it credit for at first. And you know what? Let's restart this bonus round just to try and get some more stuff out of it. I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be grabbing the gem here or not, but we will see how that goes in due time. Alright, now... Oh, fuck my life. Fuck my life indeed. We're restarting it again. I want to at least get this one, because come on, that... this shouldn't be that hard. 12 hours later. Like, if I remember correctly, this is not a bonus stage that requires you to get the next power-up. Although, there are a couple of them in the game, so... You know... It could be that we have to get the Death Tornado Spin, which is... Yes, seriously what the ability is called. And... Fuck you, game. Maybe you do. Or can you double jump after a slide jump? That might have to be the solution. Looks like you can, so that might be how we have to do this. Yep. You can double jump after a slide, so that looks to be what we're doing in this tight little space. Oh, see, that time it worked perfectly. I didn't even have to double jump, and that's fine, because I fudged my inputs. We don't need the one fruit in there. Boom. Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. That took far more tries than it should have. And it only at least one of them was because I was stupid. Managed to avoid slide kicking the frog. And let's keep going. Alright, give me that crystal. Yeah. Alright, we got a goat. We got another wizard. Dodge a couple more of these chuckleheads. Where did I miss 6 crates? Oh, there's the nitro thing. Is that gonna solve our problems? Yes! Alright. Yeah, you can see these medieval levels are super easy. Like, a couple of enemies you have to go in odd patterns to get around, but meh. No big deal. We've gotten the gems from all of them so far. Alright, here we go. Dr. Entropy himself. Let's see what's the deal.
You little vermin are way too stupid to understand what you're getting yourselves into. This time, you've done it!
Wow, you've done it! That hint is not useful, game.
Now you're on my time, you little skunk. Give me the crystal!
Look at that big tuning fork. This guy is cool. I swear. However, his boss fight is kind of on the piss-easy side of things. After a couple of basic pattern memorization bits there in terms of, the energy waves and dodging the balls using slide jumps, which incidentally are coming in at a slower rate here than in the original by a very wide margin. And the sound effects are not as good in this version. We just have to platform across to get to them. And again, I think this is going to be another one-and-done boss fight. Not as severely defanged as, what's his name? Dingodile. Or even Tiny, who was definitely way harder in the original. Despite still not being a huge threat. But they've definitely made this fight a lot easier than the one in the original PS1 version, too.
My time is up, but yours soon will be too.
Entropy used to give me a lot of trouble. And now we get us the Death Tornado spin. To spin longer and faster, or to glide while in the air, press the square button repeatedly. Yes. Although the glide functionality is a little crusty. Oh, absolutely. In the PS1, Entropy was tough. But we just one and done him. I'm not that good at this game. Come on.
Insignificant morons. By defeating
Shut up.
placed us all in grave danger.
We can't even hear what you're saying anyway, Uka Uka.
Coco, you must realize that this time twister machine is very delicate. Without Dr. Entropy's constant care and control, who knows what it will do?
Oh, the game's gonna end prematurely because it's going to explode, is it? Oh, that would be interesting. Alright, so let's get us a quick save going here. Not really necessary, especially because we have the autosave slot going for us, but why not? Alright, World 4, and we've got an Ancient Egypt setting going on for the Time Twister here. Level 16 is called Sphinxinator, with a very strange spelling. 17, Bye Bye Blimps. This is yet another new vehicle being introduced this deep into the game. It's a little World War I era type of jet plane. That wouldn't be a jet plane at that point, but yeah, we get to machine gun a bunch of blimps. I remember it controlling a bit roughly in the PS1, so we'll see how it goes here. 18 is Tell No Tales, yet another jet ski level returning after 3 worlds of dormancy. This one's pretty fun, if I recall correctly. Number 19, this will be Future Frenzy. Yes, this is the other level that has a back entrance through relics, and it's a nice long level. And lastly, number 20, we have Tomb Waiter. Oh, I love it already. It's so bad of a joke. This one can be pretty tough. So this is a level that has a bunch of rising and lowering water levels that, of course, Crash can't swim, so except in the water levels for some reason. So if you touch water in a platformer level, you die. But for now, we're going into level 16, which is not watery at all. The Sphinxinator. Unlock a new path by earning the blue gem, which we already saw. Nice big area back here that conceals a quick 1-up. I thought it was just Wumpa Fruits. And there's a huge path off to the left that I don't remember how to get over there, if you can. Maybe you just have to do a Death Tornado glide. Whoa, 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 don't spin away those Wumpa Fruits. And you can see we've got these spear traps sticking out of the ground now. I'm sure Alan will be so pleased to hear about spears. And more ancient Egyptian flamethrowers. Not quite as great as ancient Egyptian laser beams, but you know what? I don't think Cortex has the kind of budget for that anymore. So, you know, this is his 3rd attempt to take over the world by getting Crash to collect power crystals or something. Or his 3rd attempt to take over the world, anyway. So, yeah. No money for laser beams. We've all been there, right? I'm sure almost everybody in this chat understands not having enough money. I'm not sure if they understand not having enough money for laser guns because nobody really knows how much enough that is. Because laser weapons don't exactly exist in real life in any true quantity, so... yeah. As far as I know anyway, I mean, there could have been some progress made on that. Oh, I hit something else with the machine operator, I think. Or maybe I just got a double sound. It seems like the sound is a little glitchy in this game in some regards. Anyone who was here for Deep Trouble heard the TNT timer continuing to go after the TNT blew up. So yeah. The sound can be a little bit funky. This is the level where we should be able to complete the bonus perfectly fine. It's just a matter of not sucking at it, which, you know, that can be a bit of a struggle. Oh, look at that. We didn't even set off a timer that would probably prevent us from getting this one up. We might actually be doing decently here. Shocker of shockers. Can you imagine me ever, like, doing anything in a video game that requires skill? That's just kind of messed up. Oop. Jump on this monkey some. Give me some Wumpa fruits. Can we get a 1-up? Yes. Oh, it's just like jumping on Polar and Crash 2. I'm kind of curious if we're in a position to actually get this relic gem or not. I dare say that we've missed like 1 or 2 gems or 1 or 2 crates because I was just like, I don't think we can do it. But as we are right at the end of the level with a Nitro Destroyer, we'll have a quick look at maybe getting that first gem in Sphinxinator. Wow, we actually did it! I'm amazed. This deep in, I don't think I should be getting this many gems without trying. But obviously that's unchanged. Oh god, the Crash games have definitely been really hard at various points. This one is much more of a manageable difficulty, even without the fact that they've clearly nerfed a couple of the bosses for Sane Trilogy. But the first 2 games, wow! Brutal. Fucking mean, son. Alright, show me my controls. It's probably going to be square button to shoot the blimps, right? Yeah. X to do a barrel roll. Do a barrel roll! Thank you, Peppy. I almost called him Peppy Pig. That's good. Thank you, Peppa Pig, for telling me how to do a barrel roll. But this is pretty simple. We just fly around. This is pretty much teaching you how to hold the controller for these types of levels. Although, if you go for the gem, it is a much more drawn-out affair. And there's a lot more of these gunner fellas coming in order to bring the heat a little bit. I used to think this level was really hard. I I don't know that this one has been nerfed for Sane Trilogy. I don't feel like it has, because I remember that while I did have difficulty with this as a kid, it was not so hard when I started getting older. However, the other fighter plane level is a lot harder. The one that we will be facing in World 5. By the way, quick question. Is the frame rate okay on the stream? I noticed that my preview is getting a little framey.
So, Crash Bandicoot, we meet again. Ooka Ooka and Dr. Cortex want me to teach you a lesson. Well, I made a few modifications to my mechanics since our last encounter. So back off or be deleted.
Seems good? Alright, just making sure, because, yeah. The OBS preview is only meant to give you a preview, not necessarily the full image. And yeah, you could see there what I was saying earlier, that the engine voice actor just did not seem to be very good. Like, it's like somebody understood the idea of what an impersonation of Peter Lorre sounds like, which is what Engine is supposed to be. He's supposed to sound like Peter Lorre. Because, again, the Crash games owe a lot to old cartoons of the, you know, 40s, 50s era sort of Warner Brothers shit. So there were quite a few instances of mad scientists with that sort of Peter Lorre impression because, of course, Peter Lorre was a very popular actor in a lot of the old school horror films because he had a very distinctive look and very distinctive sounding voice. So, you know, they made Engine sort of the Peter Lorre impression character, and this voice actor is just not doing it very well. I think they replaced the voice actor for Crash 4, and he sounds much better, but I do not remember if that is the case. And again, that is only based on YouTube videos I've seen about it because I don't own Crash 4 yet, although I am giving strong consideration to looking for one on eBay or something and picking it up if it's cheap enough. Although I think I was seeing about $40, which is a tough call. I've got a little bit of cash to spend, thanks to selling one of my Magic decks for a couple $100s. So, yeah, I got a little bit to be slightly frivolous with, but also I'm still going to kind of be a little bit on the aware side, I guess, in terms of, you know, like, even if I was filthy fucking rich, I would be very hard-pressed to buy a legitimate Earthbound cartridge, basically, because I do love the game, but if you see how fucking expensive it is to buy that, at least in English. I have a Japanese Earthbound cart sitting in my room somewhere. Or should I say Mother 2 cart. But English Earthbound cartridges go for well over $100, regularly over $150. And it's like, okay, but I don't think anything that is a video game for the Super Nintendo, or really for any console, is actually worth that. Also, speaking of Earthbound cartridges, I fucking love the people who are like, oh yeah, the SNES Classic really brought the prices down, LOL. Maybe, but it was still fucking insane. Like, unless you're Nigerian prince scam money type of rich, I don't think those could ever really be called affordable. And now, granted, I have some personal feelings about repro carts anyway. Like, I just kind of think, okay, yeah, you're literally just doing not even just software piracy, but you're doing the version of software piracy that all those PSAs from the 90s would have told you about. but you're getting away with it because you're calling it a reproduction cartridge. Cool. So let's get our first look at what the future looks like in Crash Bandicoot. Those lasers don't last for as long as they did in the PS1 version. At least that set doesn't. That second set looks a little bit nicer. Also, this is a level where getting the first clear gem is not possible, I don't think. So, I don't believe I will be trying too hard for it. Because I believe the back door has quite a few crates to clear out from it. And it's not just nitros, unlike in Hang 'em High. Aw, I screwed that up. And can you imagine if there was like a nitro or a TNT hidden in that pile of belly flop crates there? What the fuck is going on, Crash? Are you okay? I think he's freaking out because I just described what you would expect out of Kaizo Crash Bandicoot level design. I mean, game mods exist. He crashed. Good one. Game mods do exist for stuff that's 5th generation and later. Like, I know that there is a very big modding scene for, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories and stuff like that. So, I could see the existence of Kaizo Crash Bandicoot, and I don't like that as a thought. That's kind of a terrifying idea. Also, yeah, those panels set you spinning, and so the Wumpa Fruits are just there as, you know, I guess guidance, but also to make you feel bad when you see them disappear. Oh. They don't like being slid into. Okay. Fair enough. That disintegration animation is alright. I mean, Crash doesn't get as charred as he does in the original, but I'll take it. There we go. I also do like that we're getting another level here that is like actual, here's some regular 3D and here's some side-scrolling. I mean, it's not quite as good as some of the others, and, you know, obviously the side-scrolling stuff existed in the bonus stages, but this is a level where that's part of the actual level. Also, hey look, it's the platforms from the Tiny Tiger fight in Crash 2. Alright, let's go in the bonus room. And yeah, here we go. We've got some signage on the wall telling us about what power-ups are good to use here. Although, I mean, to an extent, I feel like we could kind of guess. Well, I had all that height. I should have gone for that one upgrade. Whoops. What am I doing? Not needing to worry, apparently. Let's get our lives and go. Yeah! Crystal. Oh. That had me doing a concern for a second. Oh, there's more side-scrolling to this level than I remember. Oh. Well, that spin lasted a little less long than I thought it would. And yeah, look at how many crates we're missing here. We did pretty good in terms of in-level crates, but we're still short 36. We absolutely need to go through the 20 relic path in order to get both clear gems in this level. And that is something else. I don't know what else it is, but it's something else, that's for sure. And let's get into this level, Tomb Waiter. I still think that's a fantastic level name. Oh boy, a special gem lies at the end of the death route. Yeah, what else would be over there? Like, what else would you expect to find at the end of a death route? Like, the identity of the Zodiac Killer? I don't know. Then again, why would we need that? We already know it's Ted Cruz. God, I can't believe that Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer meme has existed for like over 5 years at this point and is still a thing that people pull out once in a while. And I guess that person was not amused by it. Well. I mean, I guess if anybody was going to like Ted Cruz, it would have to be a literally thousands of year old mummy, right? I don't know why that makes sense, but I can't imagine anyone alive liking him, I guess, is the point. Which isn't necessarily even a political thing, although obviously that's a small part of it at least, but it's just that Ted Cruz is perhaps the least charismatic human being possible. I don't know how he does it, but it's a talent, that's for sure. Alright, so now that I've definitely made some people very upset at me, and, you know, if they are, fuck them, but let's do this bonus round. Alright, so here's where we start getting a little bit of some more Crash tradition here, where we want to do a little bit of back and forth over an area like that. Again, we saw that super early in the game in the last couple, but here, this is the first time that we're seeing this in level 20 out of 25 main levels in the entire game. Yeah, I don't think I needed the Death Tornado spin there. I didn't hit the fucking TNT, I'm an idiot! Ugh! Why'd I do that? Simple, it's so we can do this. And that should reset the bonus platform for us. Yes. Never mind. Shit. Well. It's okay. Maybe I'm just salty about not... Oh. The door got me when I jumped into it. That's new and novel. That's not something I knew could happen. Anyway, I'm just going to chalk it up to I'm salty about I can't get the blue gem this time. Because I already died due to the mummy with the pointy bits. Incidentally, yes, those mummies used to jump around a lot faster on the PS1. Anyone here who is familiar with the PS1 version, you are not hallucinating. They are moving around a lot slower. Which, admittedly, doesn't necessarily make them harder to deal with. It just means that their pathing is different, basically. Like, sure, they won't jump into you as easily from off-screen or anything, but actually, that might be for the better. So, yeah. crystal, and we are pretty much in the home stretch of this level, I believe. This is one of the tracks that I definitely think was better on the PS1, by the way. Like, my feelings on the new soundtrack are not straightforward, we'll put it that way. Some of it's better, some of it is not. But this is absolutely one that has suffered a little bit from not using the original... Oh, I died. From not using the original PS1 version. The original Mutato Musica sound design, as it were. The group that is... the group that Josh Mansell belonged to, by the way, who did the soundtrack... I didn't know for a while that it was Josh Mansell. I thought it was somebody else. Mutato Musica is actually a project by one of the guys from Devo. Which I guess kind of goes a long way to explain the tone of the music in the original, right? Yeah, it's operated by Mark Mothersbaugh. Mark Mothersbaugh? I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Mothersbaugh, but it's spelt in a very, very odd way. Mothersbauge, I think. So it might be Mothersbaugh for all I know. It could be Mother's Bag. Fuck, who knows? Anyway, I'm going to assume that it's Mark Mothersbaugh for the time being. For a very long time, I thought that the soundtrack actually was originally done by Mark Mothersbaugh. Kind of like how... we all know this one already, right? That Steve... Guy whose name I managed to forget already. Amazing. Pardon me. Stuart Copeland. Yeah, Stuart Copeland from The Police, the drummer for The Police, did the soundtrack of the Spyro games, right? We all know that one. Which, you know, that's pretty neat. Like, that... Whoops. That is 100% my fault, by the way. I did not press square there. I realized afterwards. Anyway. So, yeah, I think it's kind of neat seeing people like, you know, members of Devo and The Police and all that doing these soundtracks in the 90s, because honestly, I feel like video game soundtracks, it's not necessarily too far removed from what was going on with New Wave as a musical scene. You know, it's sort of a little bit of, it's the future kind of thing, and by that point, we were really starting to get a little closer to the ceiling. No, we were starting to get a little closer to the idea of video games not just being toys for kids. Like, it still wasn't the biggest thing in the world. We still were, you know, at a point where Mortal Kombat was shocking and stuff, and, you know, clearly that was mature mostly by virtue of the fact that it was violent and bloody and occasionally sexual. But Metal Gear Solid was just around the corner, and I think that that was a very big turning point in terms of this idea of video games as being an art form that could really be considered arty. Because, yeah, there were games prior that had the distinct sort of arty narrative feel to it, including Earthbound, which is one of my favorites, despite the fact that I would not be caught dead spending $200 on an Earthbound cartridge. But also, that game was still very much positioned in a way that it was sort of all ages friendly. I mean, once you peel back the layers, it's not so much. There's some stuff going on. It's nowhere near as much to the point that a lot of people think, though, but yeah. Like, I think that basically the two weirdly only half related... You know, these 2 points are sort of related, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, this Scarab Beetle wants to go down. That'd be great. Alright, so after doing this, we should come up 1 short, basically. Pardon me, 2 short. Excuse me. So I guess I missed something else somewhere. Well. It happens. That's fine. We've got a boss to fight. Alright, let's fight Dr. Engine. Knowing that there's another motorcycle level in the next world makes me need some gin.
You want to go a few rounds? When this is over, we'll see who is obsolete.
Listening to that voice acting makes me want even more. Gin, that is. I don't even drink. So yeah, here we go. This is we get to fly around in a spaceship. This is a gimmick that is used for this boss fight and nothing else. But it's sort of an into-the-screen spaceship shooter type of thing. And Engine has a bunch of these little, Ow. Well, okay, so we got his belly button finally. It feels like it's a little hard to tell for sure where my shots are going. If I'm gonna hit him or not. And the controls are a little bit clunky just in general. However, we're doing pretty good. We're softening up every piece, by parts basically, and we're at half health, almost done with phase 1. This is phase 1. Yeah, this boss does thankfully have some teeth to it, because honestly, if that's all we had to do, especially in this game where it's definitely a little bit easier, I think they made this fight a little easier anyway. I would be really, really disappointed. Certainly, I feel like you don't thrash as much as you do with the controls in this version, which was definitely an issue that, like, you sometimes would move a little too harshly. So the controls are tighter. Even if I'm not always necessarily 100% sure where I feel like I'm shooting, it definitely is a much smoother controlling thing going on here. Also, this part of the fight is legitimately far easier than the earlier one. Yeah, we didn't take any damage for that second part. They definitely defanged that a lot, and part of that is also down to making the controls better. But we get the fruit bazooka for our troubles. Hold L2, press circle to shoot shots at things. Good for breaking crates, good for killing enemies. Overall, it's pretty good power.
It's funny how history repeats itself. Yet again, Engine has failed to defeat you.
What? For this we must destroy you!
Oh, my aching head. I'm not
Cortex, you probably shouldn't stick your tongue anywhere near that mask. It might be causing your cough.
Gather another 5 crystals, and again you will have foiled my plan. Or will you?
Nick, do you have any idea where that thing has been? I sure don't. So yeah, one more easy boss later. Let's go ahead and let's save. And let's check out World 5. We might even be able to beat Cortex today. Although, who knows? Gone Tomorrow. This is another future level. Kind of similar to Future Frenzy, but with more bazooka action going on. Orange Asphalt. Or like Orange Asshole. This level sucks. its bike level. Flaming Passion. Kind of similar to High Time, but a lot more napalm dudes involved. But we have the bazooka now, so we can deal with them. 24, Mad Bombers. This is another jet level. Again, not a jet. Another plane level. A lot tougher than the other one, if I recall correctly. And 25, Bug Light. This is very similar to Lights Out and that one level in Crash 2 that I forgot the name of, where the level will start going dark as you go, but you have to pick up the fireflies to keep the area lit. So let's go ahead and let's start in with Gone Tomorrow, even though I should probably be starting in with Orange Asphalt to try and get that out of the way, but we're gonna do things in the normal path. Oh, dang it. I hit the wrong button in an attempt to slide jump, so I deserve what I get there. Wow, this guy really doesn't want to be spin attacked, apparently. Alright, I'm going to do one more shot at this. Oh, never mind, I'm just going past, because I somehow missed, and he somehow missed me, and yeah. Okay, this enemy is not behaving correctly, that's for sure. Alright, so this mech, this is a very good place to use the Fruit Bazooka because they'll start mooning us. You just gotta actually be fairly quick on the draw a little bit and remember that your controls are not reversed. They appear to have made a lot of enemy attack patterns shorter, by the way, like that little laser probe there that was on the conveyor belt is supposed to drop on the conveyor belt at the very end, go all the way back, and then float over to the end of the conveyor belt, drop on it, get conveyed back to the other side, blah, 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 in a loop like that, and they've changed that for some reason. And overall, the attack cycle feels shorter. I feel like this is one of the very few places where that's actually going to cause a problem. Oh, also, we can just spin his butt plate if we get close enough. Sometimes you just have to spin attack something in the ass and, you know, that'll cover you. That's all you need sometimes. So yes, this level is absolutely all about using the Fruit Bazooka to snipe stuff. But of course, I am not doing a whole lot of that, except for now. Now that I'm, like, actually, you know, admitting as much. Alright, that didn't open that. So I guess we have to come back through here. Does that mean that we're not able to get this without getting the green gem? What I may be doing here might not be useful in terms of trying to get the clear gem. Okay, so here we've got an enemy doing the thing on the conveyor belt properly. You can see what that looks like before I throw a Wumpa Fruit right into its face. Well, we're definitely not getting the gem now, so I done goofed. Let's just move. Of course, we are going to do the bonus round once we get over there, because honestly, why the hell not? And there's our green gem platform. And yeah, you can definitely see that I'm over here not using the fruit bazooka nearly enough for what this level really calls for. Also, you'll notice no nitro trigger. I think we saw some nitro in this level. Obviously, at this point, they're going to be a little bit more like, hey, yeah, you got to shoot that stuff. Which, fair enough, we do have the tools for it. You may as well make us do the thing. Okay. Let's get into a little bit of the orange asphalt here. I've been informed by people before that the name of this level is a reference to a film, one which I believe to be called Red Asphalt. Probably makes sense, you know. Probably, you know, basically what you would expect from a name like that, right? I don't know if that is necessarily true. It could just be, you know, a turn of phrase that sounds like it makes sense in that way. It could just be somehow referencing the orange setting, even though that's clearly not asphalt. Asphalt is the black stuff, because asphalt is, you know, it's road material, and it's usually sort of a blackish gray. And yes, we goofed up that jump very badly. This is, again, going to probably be a thing where we have to do a couple of shots here in order to get the crystal. We're not even thinking about the gem. Again, we will handle gems and stuff later, because obviously, I'm going to stream more of this. I love this game, and I love it. Quite frankly, I love it a lot more than the other two that I played. Which, you know, feels bad to say that because they're all pretty good games, especially for the time when they came out. But, like, I just had a lot of pain and suffering in quite a few parts of Crash 2 especially, and there were some parts in Crash 1 that were a certain level of noxious. Slippery Climb is pretty notable. I still haven't done Stormy Descent, yeah. I still haven't done Stormy Ascent yet, and holy shit, we got it in one! I can't believe that was that easy. Especially after Road Crash was such a pain in the ass. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and let us save up. Just because doing that feels like a big enough accomplishment to deserve it. Even if it was pretty easy. And we have 3 more levels and 1 boss to go for the main game. This level is called Flaming Passion, and it is all about the napalm. And having a green gem at the end of a death route. Haha, Napalm Death. They're a group that exists that I've, like, never really heard much of. Napalm Death, who also hold the record for the shortest song ever written, I believe. Also, I like how they shutter up their windows after you shoot them. That's a nice little touch that was not in the PS1 original. Can we take out our bazooka here? Yeah. So yeah, as you can see, this is definitely another one of those kind of slow-paced levels, a bit like Gone Tomorrow. Where you're supposed to be methodical and meticulous, and I guess we don't have to shoot that last dude. We can just... The timing has been eased enough that getting that aim is not necessary. Get out of here with that shit. We don't need that when we're timing a carpet jump. Come on. Although I guess if he's got those napalm bombs, you can say that guy is engaged in a little bit of carpet bombing. There we go. Just shoot fast enough and you'll get it eventually. However, that won't be really a thing we can do here because we can't shoot while we're bouncing on a trampoline. Did we get the crystal? We got the crystal. Alright, let's go ahead and take us a death route and get us a green gem. This music. Oh! Oh shit, I forgot about those guys. And hey, we're getting ourselves another chance. Alright. These dudes had a much better sound effect for their swords in the PS1 version when they would get embedded in something. Nice steel checkpoint crates. I think this is like the only time they show up in the entire trilogy. It's the only time I remember seeing them anyway. That doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot, but you know, take it for what it's worth, I guess. Oh, right, that's not very much. Oh. So we're gonna be dealing with yes. Yeah, I called it. I just didn't say what it was for some reason. And green gem, and we get to go back to the main stage. Hell yeah. Let's see if we can't do this first run is like sort of a perfect clear. In as much as you can do that in a case like this, because of course we can't go back for the relic. Right in the back, buddy. Unfortunately, this does involve the not-so-fun practice of having to backtrack in a Crash game. Walking into the screen kinda sucks. Oh, we get sent back into the middle of the death route. That's funny, game. That's hilarious. Yeah, I had actually completely forgotten about that checkpoint, so... Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's do this, come on. We're better than this. Kind of. I mean, at this type of level, we're better than this. Oop. Do that yet. Did we not, like, go very far forward, I guess? Yeah, this is where the checkpoint was, so we didn't actually go very far forward. I guess we just have to, you know... do this. Yeah, see, there's the death platform all blacked out and everything, covered in gunk, I guess. Surprising how hard it is to hit those guys sometimes. Alright, so that crate that I just shot is usually the one that I miss in this level, and it's probably usually the one that a lot of people miss. Because by the time you see it afterwards, it tends to be off-screened entirely. Yeah, by the way, the Fruit Bazooka lets you collect Wumpa Fruits using the explosive radius of the shots, which is very useful. Although, I mean, it's a little bit frivolous to just be like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna go snipe that one Wumpa Fruit. Yeah, okay, good use of my time and, I guess, resources a little bit. Alright, so... This nerd is a little bit off screen here. Oh, we had him in our sights there for a second. All right. Nice. And there we go. 2 gems and a crystal. This deep into the game, talk about a photo finish. That is not a hard level, but it really does test your ability to put that bazooka to work. Ba-da-ba! Thank you, Crash. Alright, level 24, Mad Bombers. This one I remember not being very easy.
Crash, remember, it is not only Dr. Cortex that we battle.
Beware of Uka, my children. He is a far more dangerous enemy than anyone can imagine.
It's a good thing we don't have to worry about him for a while. Alright, yeah, here we go. Time to shoot down these bombers. As the Orange Baron, right? Alright, so you don't really get shot at a whole lot until you start actually trying to target these bombers. But once you do, the enemy planes really start coming in force. Yikes. Cut it out, man. Hey, what did I ever do to you specifically? I mean, I know I shot the bomber there, but, like, you guys are just kind of in the... Oh, well, you should have gotten out of the way of my bullets. You know, you're just a bunch of kids with your pumped up kicks. Or something. Do people still like that song, by the way? Like, is that a thing? One of my friends I know is a big Foster the People fan, and I don't know how he feels about that, but I suspect that he probably... If I had to guess, I feel like this would be a case where Pumped Up Kicks is like one of their worst songs, and it's kind of upsetting, or at least annoying to him, that became the big one on the radio. Because that's what people would think of when they think of that group. But I don't personally know for sure. I have never asked. Because, again, not something that ever really crossed my radar as a group. But there we go. We got our crystal from Mad Bombers. That was a nice little one and done. I'm surprised that was that easy. And let's go into Bug Light. The last regular level in the game. Unlock a new path by earning all of the colored gems. And we have 4 of those, so we're quite close. But if we were to go in there now, we would run into the yellow gem platform, and the game would just be like, ha ha ha, you're gonna die now. You're gonna die, clown. However, I believe we can get the regular silver gem if we want to collect all 121 crates in this level. Which might be a bit of a task because, as you will soon see, this is the lights out level of the game. And collecting crates in those is not exactly the funnest thing in the world. And see, here's our Firefly. And to collect crates in these levels well, you basically have to, like, do a run-by sort of thing here on these. And that is not a good way to do that. It'll become easier once we beat the final boss, because we will get one last major power-up. Oh, also, we couldn't even go into the thing anyway because of that. Wow. Okay. Whoops. Listen, I just really wanted to hear that voice clip again, that's all. And this is the only part in the entire game that I can think of where they give you necessarily free invulnerability, basically. Alright. So here we go. Bonus level. This one has a thing in it, and that basically gives you a soft time limit in order to find the explosive boxes, basically. So you want to break as much shit as fast as possible. Not do that. What I just did was extremely silly. Not 100% sure why I did it, by the way. I just guess I felt like it. In fact, I'm going to try and see something real quick here. Yes, we can get past the bug. And that's going to help us immensely because we can do this. And pull out our gun. Break those. Now we get the bug back and we don't have to worry about doing this particular stomp. Alright, so we should be in the clear now. Shit, there's a jump at the end. Okay, so note to self, there's a jump at the end. However, you can see here that a little bit of strategy will go a long way for us. So I don't remember where the other boxes are, so I'm not gonna... Yeah, I don't remember where these are, basically. And yeah, okay, we lose out on a couple of Wumpa Fruit, but we got over 100, and we got a 1-up, and we got all the crates. So I think we're making good use of our resources in order to be able to get the regular box gem here. Whoops. I sure did just walk into that. That's my bad. I like to think that I tried to jump there, but maybe I didn't until it was too late. And in that case, I got what I deserved, basically. Alright, did we get everything? No, we're 10 short. Where would there be another 10 boxes? That was funny, actually. Well, I mean, the rainbow gem path ends in a warp. Oh, so there's a plunger. Okay. Gotcha. So it was just 10 nitros in that path. Gotcha, and I just didn't see it before. Well, all right. It's time for the final boss in the main Crash trilogy. And you already know who it is. You don't even need his face on the button, but let's do it. He's looking so gleeful in that picture, we're gonna knock that smile right down into his throat.
I'm sorry. This is the part where I'm supposed to be angry, full of rage, incensed beyond belief. Once again, you have outsmarted and outspun my best henchman. I should be rather upset, shouldn't I?
And in fact, we're furious. But it seems you have overlooked one small detail, you little orange delivery boy. Now that you have
Little orange delivery boy, nice.
all we have to do is take them from you.
Alright, so here we go. Dr. Cortex. Oh, this version of the theme is very heavy metal.
For the last time, give the crystals to me.
Alright, so we've got Aku Aku here fighting with Uka Uka, and they are going to do it primarily by means of ancient Polynesian laser beams. Polynesian looking anyway. And yeah, we just have to dodge Dr. Cortex's other attacks until his force field craps out, and then we just spin him into the hole. This is definitely... Well, normally this is not the hardest fight in the game, but, I mean, you saw how nerfed N-Jin was, so... Like, with that in mind, this is definitely going to be the hardest. We didn't even have to fucking try against Entropy in this game, and N-Jin was a little scary because the controls were so boxy, but the idea was pretty simple. Speaking of pretty simple, here the mask pair goes in a fairly simple figure 8 sort of pattern around the room that looks more like a figure B, honestly. Bees. Oh. Get down on the ground. Go, 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 go. Alright. So, yeah. This boss, once again, is very nerfed from the original so far. And this phase, things get a little bit different because you can see that Aku Aku and Uka Uka are sort of trying to get us in a vice. Aku Aku clearly is not paying attention to where we are. I got blown up by a landmine because I went there too fast. But Uka Uka, of course, is, like, actively maliciously trying to get us, so, duh. But also, God, between this and Crash 1, what is the deal with Dr. Cortex having the wimpiest laser guns possible? I cannot get over just how mediocre that thing is. Like, yeah, it hit us once, but also, like, he's just every, like, 12 seconds or so shooting an energy ball at us. In the most leisurely manner possible, pretty much. Like, come on, man. If you've got a laser gun, you should at least make it, like, shoot a straight beam or something, man. Alright. Here we go. Part the last. Alright, stay away from them while they rev up an explosion. So I could have sworn that Cortex had more of an attack pattern himself, but there we go. We defeated him fairly easily. And if we hold the R2 button while we're running, we can run faster.
This is not fair. Maybe I should retire to a nice big beach with a nice big drink and a woman with nice big bags of ice for my head.
Hey, you can't say what you were about to say, sir.
We still have a chance to triumph.
Yeah, nice big bags of ice, buddy, right? You sure about that? Alright, we've seen the credits. Who cares? Let's go back to the Time Twister, and you know what? I'm feeling pretty good about my time here today. I'm not even gonna save yet. Actually, you know what? I should. Let's save, and let us do a little bit of demoing this time trial thing with Tomb Waiter. And also we're going to try and get the blue gem.
Coco, if you have already retrieved a levels crystal, then you will find a floating clock when you enter for the second time. This floating clock activates time trial mode. Grab it and the clock will start ticking. Race for the end to get the best time, but beware, some elements will change.
Extremely little will change. I don't remember if we've done like real time trial stuff in the in my playthrough of the Sane Trilogy whatsoever so far, but here we go. Let's demo it a little bit with this level. So what we're gonna do is we're going to get the clock just barely on screen, and apparently we're going to fuck up aiming at it. So all right, you can get a few extra seconds by starting the clock with the fruit bazooka instead of using your spin. And that is very helpful for getting certain relics. The time to beat here is like 150 seconds or something. And that's not too bad. 150 seconds being like 2 minutes 30. Also, you can see at the bonus level is not available to us. And we screwed up and didn't get that Aku Aku. I'm sure it'll be fine. But of course, there's more opportunities for invincibility in these stages than usual. Also, yeah, we died, but we didn't lose a life because it's time trial. You'll also notice that we don't get any Wumpa fruit from any of the crates. And of course, you have seen the crates that freeze the clock. Which is very important to hit those, and very important to not get hit by you know, spike chair buddy. Alright, let's roll. Oh shit, that water wasn't low enough. Whoops. That is legitimately a my bad. I did not notice that the water was still deep. And yes, you will notice that I am using and abusing the hell out of the crash dash for this. That is a big reason why I decided to really say fuck it until the post game, as it were, to do any of this extra stuff. Is again, so I could try and do it in, you know, one big block. If we got stuff while we were in the game, we got it, but it wasn't a high priority or anything. But the crash dash makes getting the relics significantly easier. And also, it really helps lengthen our jumps. Yeah, we can go down the skull route now if we want to, but I'm going to pass on that for the moment. And we're just gonna... Wow, that's very unforgiving. Like, damn, I usually would be able to take one step into that water at least and, you know, be able to go from there, but... You know, so... Vicarious Vision said no. I guess this is why they're on... I guess this is why they're on Blizzard duty forever. One, two, three, go. I could have probably gone without that count, actually. Sing along with 3 count. One, two, three, go! Again, I've waited a little bit there, and I was really taking the safe, the 2 safe strats. And it's for reasons like that, because I am having a very hard time perceiving the water level because of the updated graphics. Yeah, they got, like, transparency and shit like that. And I feel like the color of blue changes as the water gets deeper. And that's just all, like, screwed up looking. I also just genuinely feel like it is less forgiving than on the PS1. In fact, I am sorely tempted now to hook my PS2 up to my TV and dig out my actual disc copy of this game for the PS1 and be like, okay, is it actually any harder in this, or am I just imagining shit? 1, 2, 3, go. Alright, well, crud vapors, we arrived here a little late. Oh man, I'm doing really badly at this. This, by the way, is like a big part of why I don't speedrun things, is because I am so insanely reckless when I do shit like this that I just know that it'll come around to bite me in speedrunning, you know? Also, yeah, you'll really see the... Son of a... Damn! Wow! Really can't get out that water very easily. This must be what it's like to not swim, actually. I can't swim very well, but I can swim. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, speedrunning. 1, 2, 3, go. I realize just how absurdly reckless that I get and how angry I get when I'm doing something like this, so I know that I would probably be the same or worse in speedrunning, and I would just be very, very upset a lot of the time. And probably not a lot of fun to watch. So instead, I just do all those randomizers casually. Get in the damn platform! Alright, let's do that, and come on. Lower, please. There we go. Eventually, we'll get it right. Also, yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. The thing didn't move while I was in Invincible Aku Aku mode. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that was a thing. And get a load of that. We got ourselves a gold relic. So yeah, there are at least 3 that I know of ranks of relics. There's the regular sapphire relic that you get just for beating the time you have to beat. There's a gold relic for a second time, and there is a platinum relic for a third time, which at least on the PS1 was hidden. I believe there's also dev times, but I could be wrong about that. So, in order to do this, let's enter some initials. And we will get ourselves a little bit of autosave, and we're going to do one last thing in this level today, and that is going to be that we're going to pick up that blue gem. If we can get the other one in the process, then cool, but I don't see that happening. However, even so, we have already started... I went to the wrong level. Whoops. Anyway, we have started off a little bit in our endeavor to get at least 100%. I think this game goes above 100%, like a Donkey Kong Country kind of thing, which, you know, clearly DKC was a very big inspiration for this series. It's often been said that this franchise follows very much after the Sonic franchise, and it was clearly inspired by such, originally being referred to as the Sonic's ass game, apparently. I don't know 100% how true that is, it's just a thing I've heard before. And on the other hand, I really do think that Donkey Kong Country is probably the other biggest inspiration for Crash Bandicoot. It just has a lot of the similar beats in terms of platforming style, you know? Alright. Fuck you, game. Like, wow, that was just cruel. That seems like a thing that shouldn't happen. I've never had that happen before in the original game. Again, fuck you, game! Holy fuck, what's the deal today? Are you feeling alright, game? I'm very much feeling like getting out my PS2 and my original copy of the game to see if that was an issue in the past, or if that is something that has only happened starting with this version of the game. Because that is definitely something that is on that why would you let that happen sort of wavelength, you know? Being able to walk off of the back of the level? Alright, so this time we got everything out of the bonus room and we don't look like an idiot. At least not for that reason. So, I don't think we'll be able to get the clear gem and the blue gem in the same go. But now we're not getting the fucking blue gem anyway because of that shit. What was that game? I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen until I played this version of the game. That was, well, I guess it's fitting that you use a bonk emote, because definitely Crash got bonked there, that's for sure. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyway. Yes, I also will point out that I did go out of my way to do the bonus room, just in case that was a thing that would come up, is if we could do... Well, I screwed up a jump really badly there. That's real great. That one I will personally accept all blame for, but the thing with me getting crushed by the door while it is still in the air, that's not, you know. And again, wow, this door just really has it out for me today. It's this specific door, too, that I've been killed by every single time that I've died from that happening. Also, that time, it looked like it was about to, and then it decided not to. Okay. That's gonna be an okay for me, dog. I don't think I have the One Punch Man okay emote in here, even though that would be very fitting right now. Get out of the water. Trying to snipe the shield guy before I had to retreat, but nope, no such luck. Alright, don't try to cut a corner this time. Because apparently that doesn't like to work. As usual, I thought I had more time there, but I just did not. Yeah, see, it'll crush you in mid-air, but it will not crush you while you're on the ground. See, it looked like it was going for it, and then it's just like, nope, we're pulling back up, boys. Which, okay, that's weird. I get so bad at this level. Fuck! Oh my god! I should have had enough time there. Like, you saw that he was... It took him a second. He was animating... Like, his animation changes when he slows down in the water. But... He was doing that for just a second. I should have been able to get that jump out. And I did not somehow. Oh well, you know what? At least I don't have to go through the full level every time, so... Okay. Okay. Alright. Well, we're almost done with this level, and we should, keyword being should here, be able to actually get the clear gem this time. On the other hand, I really want that blue gem, but I guess we'll just have to do another run for it or something. Oh god, I hesitated because I thought the water was coming back, and then it actually did come back, so... You know. Self-fulfilling prophecy and all that. Did you see what that... You see that platform just floating in the air there? That was weird. So, okay, wow, there are a lot of extremely minor but very visible glitches in the Crash 3 section of this collection. Wow, I don't know what's even going on anymore. So, I think what's going to happen here is that I'm going to wait to get the blue gem until next time. And so, I will see all of you, well, once Crash is done doing his dance, I will definitely, we'll save up, and I will see all of you next time. And next week, there will be some more Crash 3. We're not even going to move on to another game straight away. It's going to be a delight.